Okay, so my name's Alex Trollope and I'm an anatomy lecturer here at James Cook University. I'm part of the discipline of anatomy and pathology, so that's the College of Medicine and Dentistry. And I've been working here for coming into my third year now, so I'm still finding my feet, but so far everything's going really well. So I'm actually the subject coordinator of BM1051, which is Anatomy and Physiology for Speech Pathology 1. And the students that we have coming in to this class are generally lots of females, so it's a very high female content. They're all first year, first semester students, so they're all new to the university. We have a few mature students in there as well, which really help with the demographics because the mature students have a lot to bring to the younger ones. So the challenge with this particular cohort is that they're learning anatomy, and anatomy is a very high content subject. There's a lot of different names of muscles to learn, and it can be very overwhelming, especially for first year, first semester students. So what we try and do is just try and simplify it, break it down. If we can get them to have the concepts, then that can really help for facilitating the learning of the knowledge. So it's more about just getting to grips with the anatomy basis so they can build on it obviously for the speech pathologists, for them to take it on for their future careers. Okay, so I use a range of different learning activities with these students. I have some active ones where we get them into small groups and then they can start to work out where the muscles go, their origins and their insertions. I also bring in an anatomy app as well. So this is a 3D image that we can put up on the lecture screen, and it's a very valuable tool in that one of the issues we have with anatomy is the students trying to picture the 3D image of where muscles go and attach onto. So this particular app is fantastic for actually showing the individual muscles, their origins, insertions, and therefore effectively their function as well, so what the muscle does. So some of the activities that we do with the students are things like getting them into small groups where they can work together. We have labelling of the muscles so they can use cards and then label the different muscles. So for these particular students, because they're speech pathology, it's all about the muscles of the head and the neck. So we focus in on that for them. We get them to label the different muscles, and in order for them to be able to associate where the muscles are, they also have to learn about the bones of the skull as well and some of the bones of the neck. And then we get them to label those bones as well. And then if they can identify where the bones are, quite often this helps them to associate where the muscles attach onto. So muscles can be named after their origins and insertions on the bones. So another activity that I tend to do with the students is to get them together in small groups and they can look at themselves and look at their bodies and their muscles as well. I use my own body for demonstration, so I'll stand at the front of the class and then I'll show them where the muscles are located and actually show them what the muscles do as well. And this is great for when you're teaching the muscles of the face because we tend to use them a lot and we can make lots of different funny expressions and we can make it relevant for them as well. So for the students, in order for me to identify whether the concepts that I'm teaching them is actually being taken in and they're understanding what I'm trying to teach them, I will ask them questions throughout the lecture, see where the pitfalls are, see where they're not quite grasping the concept, and then we'll go back and revisit it until all of the students are with me and we can continue on to the next section of the lecture. So it's really important to keep everybody together as a group, even if we have to revisit the material a number of times. So some of the online resources that I use as well are things like Blackboard, so we have discussion board. And this again is an excellent tool to create a learning space for the students where they can all get online, write any questions that they don't know, they can answer each other, and then I can come in and monitor and answer the questions as well. It's also a fantastic way for me to gauge how the students are doing within the subject and if there are any concepts that aren't being grasped, and then I can go back into the next lecture, go through some of the questions, maybe present them in the lecture, and then we can all go through some of the things they aren't grasping together as a group. So an excellent component of using the online system, for example, on the Learn JCU website, is that it has statistical analysis where we can actually monitor students that are actually using the site, going into discussion board, actually looking at the material, and this allows us to identify students that can be struggling, not quite finding their feet. They might not even be able to work the Learn JCU site. So we can identify struggling students early and then we can intervene and get them back on track as fast as possible. The best thing that I find about teaching this particular cohort of students is that because they're first year, first semester, they're very enthusiastic. They really want to get on, they want to learn, they always come and ask questions after the lecture, and it's nice to be able to form bonds with the students and take them through their transition into university life. So for a lot of these students, it is going to be their first time. They need a very clear scaffold in order which they can grasp hold of, and then you can get them through their first semester ready to start in the second semester and carry on with their careers. And it's really nice as well that when we present ourselves in a lecture, we're also giving them a model to mould themselves on, so someone that they can look up to and look to for help in other areas as well, because it is a new experience for them. So I'm here for that as well.